Good morning, my friends. I'm so happy to get to talk to you today. Some of you reached out to me. I was going to release this episode last week. However, after I had recorded half of it, I literally lost my voice and it didn't come back for several days. And so I'm just starting from scratch. And if I sound a little raspy, I'm just at the tail end of this cold. I definitely feel good enough and better to be able to release this episode into the world. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Aubrey Barr. I'm a subconscious release technique practitioner, a Reiki master, photographer, and yes, I have been in this world for almost 2 decades. I love having this space where we can combine what it's like to be a creative entrepreneur with actual real depth of what's going on in the subconscious mind, our mindsets, our spiritual and our emotional and our energetic lives, and how all of those combine into this beautiful place where we can continue to learn and continue to grow and just become the best versions of ourselves possible. So welcome. If you haven't been here before, please hit that follow button and give us a review if you feel so inclined, because that's how Apple knows to push the podcast out to other people. So for today, I really wanted to dive into this Uranus in Gemini. Yes, because I know it happened 2 weeks ago, but at the same time, this is like an 8-year transition. So this is not something that's old news. This is something we are just now getting a taste of. And you guys, this will shake you up. At some area in your chart, some area in your life is going to feel this shakeup more than you can imagine. So first off, you guys, Uranus is an outer planet, and so it takes a long time to kind of get to all of the signs. And so it hasn't been in Gemini for 84 years, which most of us were not around for. I can confidently say this is the first time I'm experiencing Uranus in Gemini. And yes, it is something that I'm going to feel big time because I have so many placements in Gemini. And Gemini also rules my 10th house of career and public persona and reputation. So yeah, let's bring the shake up. What does Uranus represent would be the first question. And Uranus is the planet of disruption. Okay, innovation, rebellion, and genius. Okay, this guy is going to shake it up. And then, of course, we've got Gemini. This is communication. It's your thoughts. It's the media, education, duality, tech, and connection. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. When Uranus moves into Gemini, which just happened, it signals massive shifts in how we think, speak, connect, and innovate. So a little bit of historical parallels, you guys, so you can kind of get an idea of what this could mean for us. So in the 1940s and 1950s, Uranus was in Gemini. This was the rise of TV, propaganda, post-World War II world order, revolutionary thinkers, okay, early computing. And then in the 1860s, if we go back even further, that's when Uranus was in Gemini. And that's the Civil War era. There was huge shifts in communication. We got the telegraph, right? Printing was a big deal, literacy, and the civil rights dialogue. So that was finally communicating what other people were thinking and feeling, if that makes sense. I love to bring up these parallels because it really gives us a good idea of what this could mean. Now, you notice maybe not such great things happening sometimes during these phases, but also at the end of it, it's like, yeah, but we got TV. We got all of these things technologically that we didn't have before. Also, the helicopter was something that happened in Uranus and Gemini. So just bigger things that we would have thought, like we didn't know we needed the TV. We didn't know we needed the helicopter, right? We had no idea. And yet that's when these things were innovated and brought to life. The reason why I bring this up is because so many people look at this transit and say, oh, it's very doom and gloom. It's very, negative. And I'm like, no, okay, like it's not the best thing to get unexpected shakeups in life, especially if you're a fixed sign. But to me, it's also this insane amount of innovation and new things coming forward in the world. And maybe that's a good thing, right? All of that stuff seems scary until it happens. And then we're like, oh, I can see why we needed this. I could see how we can, explore this and be safe about it. So that being said, some themes that we're already seeing show up with this transit is AI and tech explosion. We're seeing that Gemini really is data too, and Uranus is about the future. And so that is definitely coming in strong. Like I just read, maybe it was like a week ago, I read that Elon Musk was talking about how, he has the robo-taxi and people are taking it instead of Uber or something, and they're actually getting where they need to go. And that in my head is just like, okay, so you sit in the back and there's nobody driving and everybody feels good about it. And I don't know that I'm there yet, but you can see how this is really moving forward. With or without us, it is moving forward. We've also got this kind of fragmented attention, right, to different things going on. Like if we're doom scrolling, if we're, trying to journal while we're listening to a podcast, which is sometimes difficult, or different things like that, versus getting divine downloads, which you need stillness for. You need quiet. You need to have your mind clear. And so Uranus wants to innovate and Gemini wants to take in everything. I know because I live this way. But if we're just ping-ponging between mental tabs, we miss the real upgrades. We miss the divine downloads. And so there's like this little bit of room there where we need to start differentiating between the two. One of my favorite things that we're already noticing is this rebellion against the echo chambers. Whatever's going on in an echo chamber is so repetitive and it's so in your face, and people honestly can't think outside of that. Well, with Uranus in Gemini, it is telling us we have to think outside of that. So things are going to come to light that we're like, okay, why have I never thought about that? And it's because we've been living in our own little echo chamber. So people's minds are going to be opened on a bigger scale, which is amazing. And also not always easy for people. Right? So just keep that in mind as something that is shifting right now. And as someone who works in the subconscious healing and energy work, I see this as time to rewire your own internal dialogue too. The way you talk to yourself is about to matter even more, you guys. Like it really, really makes a difference in your life. Now, a lot of the episode today is about Uranus and Gemini on a broader scale. Now, I plan to do a second part where we go through the rising signs, like where is this happening in your chart? I want to be able to give you guys that information too, but that would be too big of an episode for one day. So let's bench that. It'll come out in a couple days, probably on Friday. Okay. But for now, let's talk specifically about what we do in this podcast a lot, which is creative entrepreneurs and being able to meld all these things going on in the world with our mindset and with being able to move on and progress and do all the things we want to do in life. So for this particular transit, we're looking at a lot of intuitive downloads, and adding that to the business side of things is going to be so cool for you guys. I am just like over excited about it. Okay. So creators and entrepreneurs, we need to lean into wild ideas. Okay. Especially ones that feel too weird. I know I pretty much always do that. That's probably the Gemini in me, but like that is going to be huge. That's where we're going to find that golden nugget of just an insane, cool idea that nobody saw coming that's going to make huge, massive changes in your world. So that's really where we want to focus on. We don't want to just use our voice. We want to amplify it. We're going to take it up several notches, okay? Do what you need to do to make sure that you are putting your voice out in several different channels. This is something that I struggled with in the past and I'm doing better now, is being able to share my message on different things like TikTok. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I haven't been posting as much, but being able to reuse some of that content and put it all out there, because when it's out there, that's when your people will find you. And I could promise you that. This is the age of authentic expression and little movements. Okay. You don't need a megaphone, but you need to be in tune. So you need to be able to put that simple and connected and divine message out into the world in different avenues. And those ideas are going to attract everything you need. Okay. So here's an activation idea for you to kind of ponder on. What conversation are you afraid to start? Because that's probably the one that's going to set you free. And now is the time. Okay. So to wrap up today, I want to give you guys a couple journal prompts. I think this is a great way for you to really start to connect to what you're thinking and put it on paper. And that communication is just going to flow better now than it has in the past. So here's a couple questions for you. Where am I still communicating from fear instead of freedom? Uranus has a huge pull towards liberation in a lot of ways, okay? So where am I still communicating from fear instead of freedom? What truth wants to come through me that I haven't given myself permission to say? Okay? That's a really good one too. And then just a simple call to action. You guys, make sure you're grounded because these ideas will be fast and furious. Okay. It is going to hit you like a ton of bricks and it is shocking and unexpected. You know, they say expect the unexpected. This is like you don't even know it's coming. Okay. It's going to be fast and furious. And if you need a guide to help you, always, I'm here. I will link all of my sessions in the show notes. If you feel like it's time for you to get some deep work done, absolutely hit me up on that. I think I have one spot open for one-to-one sessions right now. But either way, this is a great time to really do that deep work. And you guys stay tuned for next week's episode or later on this week where we can really dig into where this is affecting you in your life, because some of you are going to have massive shifts in your public appearance, and some of it's going to be very personal too. So I look forward to being able to get that episode to you guys shortly. And as always, let me know what you loved about this. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if there's things you've already noticed, because there's so much I haven't covered here. And if you have anything you want me to answer in the Uranus and Gemini in the particular signs next time, let me know. And I will be sure to add in those as well, because that might be a little bit fun for you guys and for me to be able to have more of a connection and really, really vibe with this Uranus and Gemini communication thing. I'm here for it, you guys. All right. Have a beautiful day, my friends. We will talk soon.